Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcore Guides, bringing my guide for Uncharted, Drake's Fortune on crushing difficulty. Today we are doing Chapter 5 entitled The Fortress. I'm still trying to get used to the whole naming thing. It's just, you go from one guide to another, and plus, whenever I'm talking about Uncharted, I usually refer to it as Uncharted 1 instead of just calling it Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I understand that, it doesn't matter really, but I still gotta at least keep the intros as correct as I can possibly keep it. So I thought that Chapter 4 was pretty hard, and so far I've gone back through and I finished Chapter 5 and 6 just today. So this is being recorded commentary-wise today, and Chapter 5 even has a pretty bloody part too. Chapter 6, a few parts, but yeah, it definitely shows that the game is still probably definitely one of the hardest of the Uncharted games. No doubt about it. The first part of Chapter 5 is pretty easy, though, because all you have to do is just climb. So as long as you don't mess that up, you'll be alright. And plus, if you die, it's not a big deal. Now, notice real quick that you'll probably notice that I only have one gun, or I think I whipped it out earlier. I only have one gun. That's because I used Chapter Select to select Chapter 5 so I can get the title to show up. Now, the thing is, I learned that the only way you can get a chapter to show up is if you've actually beaten the game, I think, probably either on that difficulty or just beaten the game in general. So I don't have my old save file from the PS4 version, because I overwrote it with the PS5 version on accident at some point. Meaning that I have to beat all of Crushing Mode again in order to have access to that chapter select menu. So if I want to do the whole, showing off the chapter thing, it's going to be that way. Real fast, this is going to be our first fight. It's not too terrible. It's a little bit annoying, but I like to get the drop on that guy. And I might as well just use the micro that's in the corner because I can save ammo for the regular pistol that I normally use by using a different type of pistol and save myself ammo for that. Stay down here, though. Don't go out that door just yet because there's going to be a few guys that are going to pop out of just basically thin air, practically, it seems. You take out the first few guys on the ground level, and then all of a sudden, just one more decides to show up. Now, even though I did a chapter select thing, I can still get an AK. I can still get a primary gun, because these guys carry them plenty. So next up, you got two guys up here. You're going to have one that usually just kind of sticks around to the right side, and one that sticks around to the left, where that tree is pretty much hiding him from. This is what makes this chapter really annoying, and not only this part, but there's going to be a later section that's going to be even worse. I got lucky there where that guy just dropped a grenade. And then you actually have a third guy that I almost forgot about. I can't believe I just forgot about him. But yeah, this guy, he's just behind you. He's not too bad to take out. Just hide inside this little fortress and you should be fine. And somehow I guess I never ended up actually killing him because even though it looked like I did, there's still one more guy. Okay, I guess there's more enemies than I thought there was up there. I thought there was only 3. At first I thought there was 2, but now there's 3, and now there's 4. So welcome to Uncharted 1, where you think you know that everyone's gone or that you know where everyone's at, and you find out that, nope, not really. But luckily enough, I ran up here, I did a few blind fire shots just to a punch, just to get rid of him, because one guy by himself at close quarters is not the worst thing ever, but still, group fights is what you really want to watch out for, because if you get shot more than once by multiple enemies around you, you will die. Speaking of dying, of course I did die there. Now, getting the drop on this section's kind of hard. I've never been able to stealth this properly, so I just said screw it, whatever. I'm just going to go straight into just shooting. And, of course, notice how I'm using this cover. I'm using 2 layers of cover. I'm basically hiding behind the actual doorway, and I'm hiding behind an extra wall behind it to be on the safe side. There's a turret to your left, so watch out for that. There are explosive barrels. They do respawn during checkpoints. So, if you do, because there will be a checkpoint midway through this that will spawn new enemies, and that will actually spawn, more barrels. That one's too far back to hit the guy that was behind the truck, but typically there's always a guy probably hiding behind the truck, so just watch out for him. And then once you come in there, I'm just taking cover just to make sure that there's no one extra running around. There's the turret guy, and then there's a guy up here. Just blast him with a barrel. He should die, usually within, one hit. Now, there is one more enemy that is hidden, and he's going to be in this little area over here next to the crates that you can walk through. Like, basically, when you're going to progress. He always seems to spawn in that one same place that I've noticed. And right now, of course, I'm just running around picking up ammo, and I know that there's still enemies around because Drake is running, and that saves me a good cue on whether or not, what's going on. this guy, I mean, I'm not on brutal mode, so it's not that bad if I take a few hits, because crushing mode, allows you to at least just have a few bits of breathing room, and brutal mode really just doesn't do that. But either way, once you take them out, or not, you can, for the most part, I think you can just kind of bypass those guys if you knew where they were at and you were skilled enough, unlike me, to be able to bypass all of them, get around them, at least most of them, and then you could just kind of run in here, and it should, I think, in theory, despawn a few of them, because I had one extra guy around before I did die, and I got here, and then I reset the entire chapter, because I got to the end, I wasn't happy with the whole chapter as a whole, so I reset. Now, I like to grab, I kind of messed this up here, but I like to grab the revolver, and just, through this little tiny window, I'm trying to just get as many pop shots on these guys as I possibly can. They will not come up here, though. As far as I've seen, they do not come up here. And don't worry about the grenades. They can't really, unless they get super lucky, they can't really lob grenades at you. If you want to save ammo, I think you can kick the door 3 times and it should open. But since we have the high advantage, this is going to come in handy. Because if I ever get shot and I need to back up, all I have to do is just run back, and it should be just enough cover to keep me from getting hit. And of course, he walked just right in front of the explosive barrel, so that was honestly good timing on that end. And there you go. That's pretty much everybody in this little arena, but we're not quite done yet because we still have the waterway to go through, or the sewer, or whatever it is that we have to deal with, and that is going to be the hardest part of. Maybe I don't know. I think back in the day, I used to consider that the hardest part of the entire game, but nowadays, I don't know. Just instantly just jump over here. You don't have to jump to where I did, but just basically just jump down and kind of time your running, because he does stop shooting to let you basically just go through. There is a guy to your right, so just go ahead and take him out with blind fire or just whatever. You can. I don't think you can stealth kill him, because he should, I think in theory, know that you're there. And I'm going to grab the M72 and just blast this dude and get rid of him. Now watch carefully as I decide to grab the AK. And you might be thinking that's kind of weird. I mean, you got a pretty strong gun there. Why not use it for the next fight? Well, I tried. And honestly, I'm not really good with handling the next fight with that. So, my recommendation, keep your AK. Jump to this pillar and use this pillar as primary cover. Go for headshots. Just always keep trying to go for headshots. This is a timed event. It doesn't matter like who you kill first or whatever. I'm pretty sure it should be a timed thing, because the guys over here that I'm pointing toward will spawn. And of course I get a terrible throw, because that's just, Uncharted logic for me. I mean, there is a pillar right in my way. Of course I'm going to throw it right at that. But this is what the AK is for, at least in my opinion, is making sure that I don't get attacked by too many people at once, because the AK is a pretty good gun at dealing with, mobs of enemies. Now, once you take out that area to the left, this is when these guys are going to spawn. I'm pretty sure these ones are not on a time limit. And that guy decides to just teleport right into the back rooms. I mean, look, I'm looking directly at where he disappeared to. The guy just disappeared. I don't know where he went. Besides, like I said, he just no-clipped out of reality, so I have no clue. But he does reappear, thankfully, so he somehow gets out of it. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. I think he just ends up dying. Because that's a shotgun enemy. That's 2 of them. And they appear from where you came from. Oh yeah, so I guess, yeah, never mind. Oh well. But yeah, now I can finally see it in full video, because when I was playing the game at the time, I noticed it. I'm like, that's weird. Maybe he just, I don't know, maybe he went somewhere else, or maybe he died and I didn't notice, but it looked like he didn't die. It looked like he just no-clipped, so that's saves me the trouble, I guess. He's gone forever. Alright, cool. Either way, that should be pretty much it for all the difficult challenges. Again, it's basically, you gotta, when you run into that room, you shoot straight, you take out 3 guys, and then you look to your left, and like 3 or 4 more spawn. Then you look to your right, you take out those guys. But just usually staying near that first pillar that I'm at is what I recommend doing, because it gives you decent enough cover. Not the best. It's really not that great. But it's just enough to kind of keep them from, well, getting to you, I guess you could say. But either way, there's that. So, all we gotta do now is just pretty much just basic puzzle solving things here. I say basic, but in terms of Uncharted, it's pretty basic. You just go from one side to the other, pull the lever, that kind of thing. Not even a lever, but just, crank the chains and let the water fall out. And then after that, once you get up here, it is the start of Chapter 6. And I will, of course, be using the Chapter 6 intro thing for the next video, because this is how Uncharted does things. It's really annoying, but it is the way it is. Anyway, that's it for this, so take care, everybody.